Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if you haven't, welcome to my channel. Here at In Your Hands Tarot, I like to do unboxings, flip-throughs, review type videos on various different tarot and oracle decks, and much more. So a few days ago, I received the Spirit Animal Wisdom Oracle deck by Katie Jane Wright, illustrated by Nikki Strange, and right off the bat, I was in love with this deck. I was even posting on Instagram about it, saying how I already feel very strongly connected to this deck and how I was going to be doing a review video on it at some point. Well, some point is today because that's what I am doing for this video. I will be sharing some of my thoughts on the very lovely Spirit Animal Wisdom Oracle deck. So right from the start, I was drawn in by even just the box. The colors of the box are super cute. I feel like I'm drawn to more of a lighter palette when it comes to decks rather than the very dark or very bold type of colors. I don't know, there's something about the lighter shades. It just gives off a very relaxing and calming vibe when I'm using them. But even the back of the box is really cute with the little deer image here and the little purpley pink flowers that line the bottom. So yeah, very drawn to even just the packaging. And then the inside, this was really cute, which I think I've mentioned before, that pink is my favorite color. So really in love with the inside of the box. So as always, I want to talk about the guidebook first. As you all probably know, if you've seen my videos before, guidebooks are very important to me. I like a well-structured, well-informed guidebook, and I feel like this deck definitely has that. So it starts off with a little table of contents. We have a bit of an introduction. Even some spreads that you could try. I haven't done that yet, but would definitely like to give it a shot at some point. It even goes to explain what each element means if you're finding that you're pulling more of like a specific type. Like the other day I was using the deck and I found that I was pulling a lot of earth cards. So I would read this little paragraph and it might tell me maybe like as to why that's happening for me. And then it goes on to each of the cards. So a good amount of information for all of the cards. Each page has a picture of the card, the elements that are represented, the meaning in about a sentence, and then it goes on to explain it a little more in depth in a few paragraphs. Which to me, that's a very good amount of information. It is very well written also, so it's very easy to understand. My only thing, if I have to point something out that maybe I don't like as much, is that the cards aren't in alphabetical order. I feel like I would have liked it better if they were, just because it would be easier to find which one I'm looking for. So I always have to refer back to the table of contents when I'm looking for a card. I can't just, you know, go to the F's and look for frog, you know, because it's scattered all over the place. But that would probably be like literally my only thing that I have to say about this deck, the whole deck, that I'm not a huge fan of. And then everything else I just absolutely adore. And then at the bottom of each page, it tells you the crystal companions for each of the cards. So I think that is really fun also. So yeah, just a very well done guidebook. Guidebooks are, like I've mentioned before, a big deal for me. So if a guidebook is well written, it makes me like the deck like even that much more, especially if I'm drawn to the artwork as well. So yeah, that's basically the guidebook. The cover matches the cover of the box, so that's really cute. So if we move on to the cards, starting with the back design, I am obsessed with this artwork on the back of the cards. I think it is so beautiful. It is so calming. All the colors work really well together. This eye in the middle here, I think it's so cool. It's just, I like was drawn the second I took the lid off and I could see the back of the cards. I was like already drawn to it. I think it's insane. It may even be my favorite or one of my favorite backs to the cards that I own, tarot or oracle. I feel like that, yeah, this is definitely like one of my favorites that I have seen so far. Card stock is really good also. I feel like the cards are thick enough where I don't feel really that I'm going to rip them. I mean, I'll be gentle anyway because I really don't want that happening. But I feel like this is a good amount of like thickness for shuffling. It's not too thick where it's hard to shuffle, and then it's not too thin where I feel like I'm going to rip the cards in half when I do try to shuffle. So now if we flip the cards over, this artwork is incredible. The colors that are throughout this deck are amazing. Like even if I just do a quick little like shuffle through, like look at those colors. I am obsessed with the colors. Like it's insane. So we have the name of the card, the symbols that tell you which element it represents, and then a quick little meaning to the card. So I think just even on the cards, there's a good amount of description to kind of help you get an idea of what the card is trying to tell you. I think one of my favorite cards out of the deck is the owl. I love this image so much with like the stars and the moon up top here, and then the colors of the leaves at the back here, and then the owl itself. I'm like obsessed with this card. So I did post a unboxing and flip through video a couple days ago, so if you want a full deck flip through, I will link that video in the cards and you can go and check it out. I could not wait to do this review video just to express how much I love this deck. I mean, usually I wait a little bit after I've used a deck for a little bit, you know, gotten to know it, and we've spent some time together, you know, but the second I opened this one, I was like pulled to it instantly, and I knew it was going to be a deck that I used very often. So I'm not even waiting to do this review video because I couldn't wait. So I feel like this is a very good deck for someone who is also a beginner. I think it's a great deck if you enjoy animal decks, and that's kind of, it's funny because I'm not like a huge fan of animal decks. I don't have a ton, so I thought it was funny when I seen this one and I was pulled to it like automatically. It's not that I don't like animal decks, I just find that I'm not ever really drawn to them. I'm not really drawn to use them, but except for this one, for some reason this one was just calling to me, and I didn't even hesitate to like purchase it. When I first seen it, I was like, no, I have to have that one for sure. And I think the guidebook too also helps because it's a really good guidebook in my opinion. It's full of information, very easy to follow and understand. So I think that's another reason why this deck is really good for a beginner. And even just like each of the meanings for each of the cards, I think fits very well for the animal that is represented on the card. So I feel like I just can't say enough about this deck. Like I feel like I've said everything that I wanted to say, but then again, I feel like there's still a lot more that I could say about it. Don't get me wrong, I love all of the Oracle decks that I have in my collection, but for right now. I definitely feel like this is going to be my main go-to, at least for a little while. It's definitely the one that calls to me the most at the moment. I think maybe I just need a break from my other Oracle decks for a little bit. Spend some time with this one. This is also one of my favorite cards. I think the colors are adorable. I'm a big fan of anything pink, so yeah, I don't know, I can see myself using this deck for a very long time. Like usually when I sit down and I want to do a reading for myself, or maybe just like pull a card for the week ahead or whatever, I will reach for my tarot deck or my Radiant Wise, and that's the one I always use for myself. But over the past couple of days, I have been finding myself reaching for this deck instead. And even just if I'm just chilling at my desk, maybe I'm doing work on something, and if I just want to sit here, I will take this deck off the shelf and I'll just shuffle with it and look at the cards, pull a card here and there, and like just spend time with it. So yeah, definitely a great purchase. I am so very, very happy with this deck. So yeah, there you have it. Those are some of my thoughts on the very lovely Spirit Animal Wisdom Oracle deck. Highly recommend it for anyone who is just into Oracle decks in general. Maybe you prefer Oracle decks over tarot. I feel like this one would definitely be a good one to have in your collection. Great for beginners as well. Lots of information in the guidebook. If you're someone who likes animal decks or really, really calming and like soothing artwork on the cards, this is another definite go-to for you. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe if you want to stick around a little longer and see more upcoming content. I would greatly appreciate it. And I shall see you guys in the next one.